fruit, there's basically 4 ways that you can pack your fruit. And which pack you use is determined by the fruit itself, your personal preference and taste, and also what is its intended use. Uncooked desserts, we often use fruit that's been packed in a syrup. For just general overall cooking, we do a lot of the dry pack or just freezing the small fruits whole. So it depends on kind of what you have in mind with that fruit, how you enjoy it. Sugar is very important with freezing because it does help retain the color and the texture and the flavor of the fruits. However, it is not necessary. So it's not really a safety issue. But let's look at these. We have the syrup pack that we can use, sugar pack, an unsweetened pack, and a dry pack. Well, today I'm going to talk a little bit, the fruit that I'm going to use is peaches. I love peaches. I do have my freezer container is actually a pint, 2 cups. One option that I have is the syrup pack. A syrup pack is basically sugar that's just stirred in with warm water, and then actually after you make that syrup and the sugar kind of dissolves, you want to put that into the refrigerator and let it chill, and then pour that over your cut fruit. Now, the amount of sugar that you use depends upon the syrup itself. You have like a light syrup, and then you may have a heavier syrup. And a research-based canning book will tell you what is recommended for the fruits that you have. So, but that's very easy to do, making your own sugar syrup. The next one is called sugar pack. And that is where you basically just cut up your fruit and coat it with a certain amount of sugar and wait about 15 minutes. And that sugar causes the liquid to be drawn from the fruit, and it kind of makes its own syrup. And that from that point, it's put into your freezer container. That is very easy to do. Let's look at the unsweetened pack. This is where you can use water, juice, or you can actually make a pectin syrup, where you take the pectin and add water and you boil that and make your syrup to put over your fruit. Now with this, I will say you may not have the quality and the color that you would using regular sugar, but it can be done and it's safe to use. Sugar is important, but it's not necessary in freezing fruits. You may just want to add sugar after you freeze it. If you want to use artificial sweeteners, you can also do that in a recipe when you're freezing fruit. The quality may not be as good, but it can be done. And you may just want to add artificial sweetener after you use it, after you've frozen it, when you have it at the table. So an unsweetened pack is an option. The last one I want to show is the dry pack, and it's one of my favorites. It's great for small whole fruits like blueberries, blackberries, strawberries. You actually wash the berries and then dry them well, and then you just actually put them on a tray or a baking sheet on parchment paper. Slide that into your freezer. Let it freeze for a short time until they get hard. You want to make sure you don't have frost or freezer burn on them though. And once they are hard, you can actually just put them into your freezer container. This is wonderful because it actually forms a loose pack, and you're able to pour out the amount of berries that you want to use at a certain time. One thing I want to add to this, some fruits will become brown as you work with them and freeze them, like peaches and apples. So your recipes may call for ascorbic acid, and that's actually like vitamin C, which you can buy at the drugstores, or you can buy a product called Fruit Fresh. There's different ascorbic acids on the market. Very easy to use. You would add this powdered Fruit Fresh either to the liquid or to the sugar, depends on what pack you're using. Directions for using the Fruit Fresh are on the container itself. Very easy, only takes just a small amount. Like with the sugar pack, it only took like, I think, a half of a teaspoon that you mix it with water, put it on your fruit, and then you would add your sugar. So ascorbic acid is something that is used to prevent browning when you're freezing fruits. I look forward to enjoying these fruits this winter. When freezing your fruits and you have a syrup pack, often when you add the syrup, you will have some of your fruit that is sticking out of the liquid. So a good thing to do is just to take some parchment paper, because you want to make sure all that fruit is covered as far as freezing and prevents it from browning. Take some parchment paper and put it on top and kind of mashes that fruit down into the liquid, and then you can put your lid on and freeze it that way. Using parchment paper, it will not stick to the frozen fruit, and this assures that that fruit is underneath the liquid.